What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Autobahn. My name is Max, and today we are here with another viewer's car. This is Michiel's BMW M140i, and Michiel has been with us before. He brought his BMW 114i with a tune a couple years ago, and he upgraded his car and has an M140i with a few mods. So today I'm going to show you around it. We'll talk a bit about the mods, and then we'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for an Autobahn blast. Because this car is not stock, it has very good mods, to be exact, because it has a lot of chassis and suspension modifications to give the car a bit more of a beefy feel, to make the suspension a bit better, to make the car just a bit less, I don't know, like a rubber band. And it also has some B58 inline 6 modifications to give it a bit more power. So all around, some good mods. So let's do a walk around, and I'll show you the exterior mods first. We've got a Maxton design front splitter and like a CS style bonnet here, with the power dome and a heat extraction vent in there as well. Still super handsome car. I love the look of this M140i, especially in the 5-door version. Really good looking. Japan Racing wheels with Michelin Pilot Sport 5 tires. An 18-inch wheel with a 225 tire at the front, and behind that we've got M Performance brake discs and endless brake pads, so a nice upgrade there. We also have a Bilstein B16 suspension kit, which means that you retain the adaptive dampers, so you still have your Comfort and Sport Plus for the dampers, which is great. It also has camber plates, it has strut brace, anti-roll bars, it's got Powerflex bushings, Powerflex subframe bushings, M4 control arms. And then at the rear we've got a Maxton design diffuser as well, with these little side plates, end plates. We've got a Remus catback exhaust, little spoiler here as well. And let's have a look at the engine mods, because yeah, we've got a nice strut brace here as well. The B58 stock 340 horsepower, 500 newton meters of torque. This car has this FTP Motorsport intake piping, and it's got an Osprey intake. It also has a custom ASD turbocharger, which is kind of small, so you have a fast spool up and less turbo lag, which is great. It also has an upgraded high pressure fuel pump, a decat downpipe. It's got XHP software for the gearbox, and it has 500 horsepower and 700 newton meters of torque. Michiel's actually planning on building the gearbox first and then doing an engine build after that as well. So he's looking to go for around 650 horsepower, and then later maybe up to 800 horsepower, which would be kind of nuts. In here we have some upgrades as well. So the M Performance Alcantara for the armrest, and the carbon fiber trim as well, with that nice sort of, you can just feel the weave, which is really nice. On the dash here as well, steering wheel has matte carbon and an LED display, and some matte carbon pedal shifters as well. It is very loud, so let's start it up. It has a very loud startup, and we have a digital display behind the steering wheel as well. So apart from all the carbon and Alcantara upgrades, we also have a couple red plastic upgrades. As you can see, yeah, the buttons feel kind of cheap, start button as well, but you have this M1, M2 button, which normally is for a preset driving mode, but you don't have that in this car. So this is now a toggle switch to go between the driving modes, which is, yeah, doesn't make any sense, to be honest, but I think it's more there for the aesthetic part of it. So let's go to Sport Plus, traction control off, and gearbox in Sport as well. And let's have a drive. We're also running a race box for the for the digital speedometer, because this one only goes to 260. So this is the new GPS device we're using. We're also selling it in our store, so use code M140i for a 10% discount on a Racebox. This is the Racebox Mini S, which means that you can use it without the phone as well. So it has internal storage. We also have the Mini, which is basically this setup. And then you also have the bigger one, which is more like a lap timer, but they all have lap timers. And just go check out our store if you're interested in these GPS devices, lap timer and drag timer, basically. We also have, almost forgot about that, an M Performance limited slip diff at the rear, which is very nice. With this amount of power, you really need it. I mean, the stock car already needs a limited slip. And it also has that off the throttle brab sound. So you have that big fart when you release the throttle, and then normally the fart is followed by some diarrhea in the form of pops and bangs. It's been dialed up, this car. Like Michiel was like, I want everything to the max. There are the pops. Sometimes they don't work, I don't know why. So I do have to say that one of the biggest weak points of this car is its suspension setup. It's so woolly. It's so, as I said, it's like a rubber bandy. It moves all over the place, and it just feels like you're not connected with the car properly. And all these mods, I mean, there are a lot of mods on it, and it's not a cheap thing to do. So yeah, respect to Michiel, because this car now feels so much better. It feels so much more tied down, and just you feel more in control of the car, and the car feels more in control of its own movements, if that makes sense. So it's not like moving all over the place. No, it's steady, which is really good. So 0 to 100, stock M140i 4.4 seconds. For the rear wheel drive, this car should be able to do 3.9 seconds. And that was a 4.2. Michiel did 3.9 himself, and Martijn did a 4-second flat earlier, so it does do it. Oh, it is very loud though. It's a bit too loud for me, to be honest. But Michiel uses it as like his weekend car, so he drives it a couple times a week. So I can imagine that you just want everything in the most aggressive setting. And I mean, I do have to say the P58 is just, it's so good. It's so good. It feels really good. And because you have a limited slip, it's also able to put the power down, and then when it's too much power, you can actually slide it around a little bit, which is great. It's something I'm not really used to from an M140i, because even when you have that limited slip diff, you still have that stupid suspension that just feels so weird. This is like a really good setup for this car. It's properly impressive. The problem is that, you know, it takes quite a bit of cash to get to this point. So that's why it doesn't really make sense. I mean, you have to love the M140i. You have to love this platform, which Michiel does. So I get that, you know, he just wants this car to be as good as it can be. He takes it to the track. He does some like drag racing with it. And he also wants it to drive well on a regular basis. So I get that Michiel wants this to be, you know, the best it can be. But because the base car is so limited in its ability, you need to put some money in it to get to this point. It is quick though. 100 to 200 we did 7.8, which is quite impressive. It is a little bit faster normally, but you know, that is under ideal circumstances. Now, of course, I don't have all the separate driving mode settings, so I can't have it in Sport Plus and then tone down the suspension. So it is quite bumpy on the Autobahn, but it's not bad. It's quite stable as well at higher speed. Close to 280. So there we go again, quick shifts from the ZF gearbox. And we have to brake. So you can hear the brakes are getting hot now, but braking performance is still there. Fifth gear picks up really well, and it feels very planted. It feels a lot bigger than it actually is, and that is down to those suspension and chassis tweaks, because the car, even though it's quite bouncy and firm, well, it's not bouncy, even though it's quite firm, it bounces once and then it settles immediately, which means that it's not unbalanced, which is very nice. This is quick. It just kind of keeps going. It's very impressive. So let's get off here. Brakes also really good. As I said, they're getting a bit hot now, but the performance is still there. So the bite of the pedal, it's not fading too much. A little bit of understeer there. Tires are kind of the limit there. Oh, that is very good. So all in all, a very impressive 1 Series, I would say. Yeah, Michiel, good job. It's good to see you again. We can just pop in front of that truck there. And yeah, I'm curious to see what you will do next with this car. It's already... Was that you? Who was that? Oh my god, that was the exhaust and Martijn pops and bangs at the same time. That was insane. So thanks for watching. I hope to see you at the next one. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also check out this video, this playlist, and I'll see you at the next one. I'm going to open the windows. Bye.